Here's why you need to pump the brakes on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets after their convincing win against the Patriots. Let's start right here. The Jets offense is antiquated. The org for his entire tenure has put way too much into Aaron's status and built him up to be this godlike figure, and nobody has the guts to check him, and he thinks he's gonna be the judge, the jury, and everyone spends way too much time on being in awe of him instead of getting the football stuff right. Well, let's just be quite frank. Aaron Rodgers isn't even that player anymore. He looked like Kirk Cousins in the pocket throughout the first 3 weeks of this season. He looks like a guy who's 40 years old and doesn't have part of his game that makes him great. Without him being able to escape the pocket and be agile and throw across his body on a dime, I'm not sure what all the fuss is about. This is some sort of show. This is some sort of big act for Aaron at the back end of his career to get whatever little bit of energy and attention that he can get before he fades off to the sunset and is irrelevant by NFL quarterback standards. And so he's doing all of this hoopla about him stepping on the field with the rest of the players. First off, the guy's won 1 Super Bowl. I don't understand the fuss. I will never get it. He's an incredible talent. But where are the rings? Where are the rings? You really have to sit back and you really have to watch his play. Forget about what he looked like in Green Bay and ask yourself if that is not a significant drop off. The biggest proof of everything going on with the Aaron Rodgers delusion is the fact that Nathaniel Hackett is still the offensive coordinator. I mean, there's nowhere you need to look beyond that. That guy is horrible.
It's been an interesting year, a couple years for Nathaniel. He's a tough guy, but we're all human, and I'm guessing that it wouldn't be the easiest situation to take that kind of critique over and over. But I think it's in times of adversity, kind of the character is revealed, and I applaud him the way that he handled some tough times last year. Obviously, I'm aware of the stories that are out there, thanks to Eric. But obviously, there's a lot of faith in him with me, and obviously with Robert.
And so doing all of the extra shenanigans, getting all the attention, controlling every little aspect of everything, and keeping Nathaniel Hackett falls right into what Aaron Rodgers wants. He loves situations like this, where he can dominate, live in delusion, say everything's perfect, everything's fine, RELAX.
5 letters here, just for everybody out there in Packerland and yourself today. RELAX. Relax.
Because he's got the fame and the fortune, and unfortunately no playoff wins with the Jets. My biggest argument with all of this is that you have to move on from Hackett because you're running out of time way quicker than you realize. And by the looks of his injury recovery, the decline in Aaron's play tells you you're not getting 4 or 5 years out of him. You're lucky if you get something past this year. And I don't want to hear the conversation saying, well, Aaron doesn't like change. He wants to have the same offensive coordinator. Did Brady get to keep his same coordinator? Did Josh McDaniels move down to Tampa? Or did the greatest of all time have to start from scratch and get a new offensive coach in Byron Leftwich? And how did that work out? Aaron is just not the type of personality that is willing to relinquish control, try something new, step out of his comfort zone, and understand that there can be other people who can actually be quite good at this, who he has no personal relationship to, who he knows very little about except for what they do on the field. Don't tell me you want to win games. Don't tell me you want to lead a franchise to a championship when you got Nathaniel Hackett focused more on being cool guy with Aaron Rodgers than scheming up a play that resonates in 2024. Hackett is getting absolutely worked. He always does, even by average defensive coordinators. Aaron just gets to sit back and be cool guy. Everything's great. Everything's peachy because he really has nothing to lose. He's gotten everything he wants out of this situation, right? He's got a ton of attention from the media, the fans, his teammates. He's got all the money in the world. He gets to do whatever weird things he does in the off season with or without permission, and you're not allowed to really question him on it unless you want to be embarrassed in front of the media.
Really good. And if he's playing good, yeah, I expect those guys next to him to be locked in as well. I'm not done yet. Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I just wanted to, how you would take that.
I just think people like to say a lot of bullshit, and it's nice to come back in here after a game like that.
Aaron,
I mean, I'm here to tell you, this situation is not going to work, because when you build around a guy like Aaron is in it for Aaron. And that will never change. Does anyone think that Robert Saleh is the right coach for this team to win a championship? Because at the end of the day, what do I always tell you? It's not about statistics. I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit how pretty it looks. I don't care if you win the Patriots, who many people expect to get the first overall pick this year. That means nothing to me. What matters is, are you developing the guys in the locker room? Are you investing in the Jets as much as they're investing in you? And I'll be fair to Aaron and say that there definitely are some guys who he's had over his career that totally back him up and totally feel like he's a guy's guy, someone you want to have a drink with. But the problem is the further and further you get from being that rookie or being that guy young in your career, and you don't play by anyone else's rules, you get less and less relatable and likable. And do you want someone who's 23 years old fawning over you? Or do you want that 23-year-old to gain some of your knowledge like a sponge so that you can win games? I've always questioned Aaron's priorities because he always wants to talk about what he wants to do, but his actions tell me something totally different. The test and the truth, and we can find out who Aaron really is if they go and they play as poorly as I think they do, they go move up in the draft and get a guy who is young in his career, needs to develop as a QB, and then we can see if Aaron is truly invested in giving back to the city that has embraced him and supported him throughout his Achilles injury. But I'm telling you right now, don't hitch your wagon to a guy with that track record, regardless of how good he spins it. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. Appreciate a like and a subscribe, as you know it helps with the channel. It helps boost us up in the rankings and get our voices out to the rest of the NFL world who might be sleeping on what we are talking about. And as always, appreciate you stopping by. I will see you next time.